The CEO's NEPO daughter was made my boss overnight, then corrected me wrong in every meeting and slapped her name on my work. But her biggest client requested me instead of her. I had been at the firm for 5 years when Sloan started. I had built 3 of our largest accounts from scratch. I was on the short list to be made a director by the end of the year. Sloan was 26. She had finished business school 4 months earlier. She had no client experience. She was the daughter of our CEO, a man named Vincent. The job posting did not exist before her. The title was created for her. 2 weeks after she joined, she was made senior director, 1 level above me, and the person I now reported to on every account I had built. I was told in a Friday email from HR, no announcement meeting, no transition plan, no conversation with the people whose work she was about to take over. Our first meeting was that Monday. Sloan sat at the head of the table and asked me to walk her through the agenda I had been running for 3 years. Halfway through, she interrupted to correct my read on the client's pricing structure. She was wrong. She was confidently wrong, in front of the rest of the team. I did not correct her. I let her finish, then continued. After the meeting, she sent me a Slack thanking me for letting her find her footing in front of the team, as if she had been teaching me. This became the pattern. Every meeting, Sloan would interrupt to correct something I had said. About half the time she was wrong. The rest of the time she repeated what I had just said as if it were her own analysis, with slightly different wording. She would close each meeting with "Great work, team. Glad we got to the right answer," as if she had brought us there. In the meetings she did not interrupt me in, she dropped stories about her father. When I had dinner with the CEO this weekend, as I was telling my dad over breakfast. She did this in front of clients, vendors, every senior person on our floor. She also started taking my work and putting her name on it. She forwarded my analysis to leadership under her own subject line. She presented my slides at the quarterly review without my name on a single one of them. She corrected my decks before they went to clients, and most of her corrections introduced errors I then had to walk back over email after the fact. She booked herself into the conference room on Tuesdays for thinking time, then went to lunch. I stopped correcting her in meetings because the one time I had, gently, she had pulled me aside afterward and told me I was being difficult to work with. I started saving every original version of every document I produced, every model with my name at the top before she had reformatted it, every memo I had written before she had forwarded it under her own subject line. I opened a folder on my personal drive and copied everything into it. I did not have a plan yet. I just knew I needed the originals. 3 months in, a new prospect came our way. Her name was Camille. She had founded a company that had grown very fast and that everyone at the firm wanted to land. Sloan announced she would be leading the pitch personally because the account was important enough to need senior attention. She asked me to stay late the night before to walk her through the rationale, then told me halfway through to send the rest in an email because she had a dinner. I did the deck, the research, the financial model, the strategy memo, the competitive analysis. I sent everything to Sloan 2 days before the pitch in a clean folder with my name on every document. Sloan reformatted the deck to put her name first, then sent it back asking me to do one more polished pass on her formatting choices. The pitch was Thursday afternoon. Camille came in with 2 of her own people. Sloan introduced herself first, and at length. She introduced me as one of the team members who supported the prep. Then she opened the deck and started presenting. 6 minutes in, she corrected something I had put in the model. She was wrong. Camille looked up. She did not say anything. 4 minutes later, Sloan corrected my reading of one of Camille's own financial reports. She was wrong about Camille's own company. Camille looked up again. She still did not say anything. She let the pitch finish. At the end, Camille asked who had built the financial model. Sloan started to answer. Camille held up a hand and asked me directly. She did not look at Sloan when she did it. I told her I had built the model. She asked who had written the strategy memo. I told her I had. She asked who had done the competitive analysis. I told her I had. Each time she asked, Sloan opened her mouth to speak and closed it again. Camille thanked everyone and said she would be in touch by the end of the week. She was in touch by the end of the next day. She sent her signed letter of intent to our general counsel. The letter included one specific written term. I would be the named senior lead on the account. All client-facing work would be reviewed by me before it reached her team, and any change to that arrangement would require her written approval. The term was non-negotiable. She named me by name. She did not mention Sloan at all. The letter landed on Vincent's desk on a Wednesday. By Friday afternoon, I was sitting in his office. Sloan was already there, legs crossed, posture straight, like she had said everything she needed to say. Vincent looked at me and said, "We're going to honor the client's preferences. That's not in question." Then he leaned back. "But I expect the existing reporting structure to remain intact. Sloan is the senior director. She signs off on everything before it leaves this building." There it was. He was not refusing the letter. He was hollowing it out, giving Sloan the final edit on every deliverable, which meant she could change whatever she wanted, introduce whatever errors she wanted, and stamp her name on whatever she wanted, while technically staying inside the lines. I pushed back carefully. The letter says all client-facing work is reviewed by me before it reaches Camille's team. If Sloan is editing deliverables after my review, that changes what the client approved. Vincent's jaw tightened. "I'm not asking you to cut Sloan out. I'm asking you to be a team player." I wanted to say I had been a team player for 5 years while his daughter put her name on my work. I did not. I just held his gaze and said nothing else. Sloan had a small smile. She did not say a word. Her father was doing it for her. The meeting ended a few minutes later. Vincent told me he expected smooth coordination going forward. I walked back to my desk and picked up the phone. Camille's assistant put me through. I kept it simple. "I want to confirm that being the named senior lead means I have final review authority on everything before it gets to your team, with no one else editing after me." Camille was quiet for 2 seconds. "That is exactly what it means. That is why I put it in writing." I asked if she would send a short confirmation of that to our general counsel. She said, "I'll send it this afternoon." She did not ask why. Within the hour, an email landed in the general counsel's inbox, CC'd to me. "To confirm, final review authority on all deliverables rests with your named lead. This is the term we agreed to." I saved it 3 places. It was a wall. Sloan found out that same afternoon. She came to my desk. She did not pull up a chair. She stood over me. "You went to the client behind my back?" I looked up. "I confirmed the terms of our agreement. That's my job." Her eyes narrowed. "Your job is what I say it is, not on this account." She stood there a long second, like she was memorizing my face for later. Then she turned and walked away. That evening, she sent me a Slack. Slack. Going forward, please CC me on all Camille-related correspondence. This is a department policy I'm implementing effective immediately. She could not touch the deliverables, so she wanted to watch every word I sent. I screenshotted it and saved it with the rest. The first deliverable was due to Camille in 6 days. I worked late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I rebuilt sections from scratch because for the first time in months, no one was going to edit my work after I finished it. I sent it Thursday morning, my name on every page. Camille responded within a day with detailed, sharp feedback and a line at the bottom that read, "This is exactly why I asked for you. Let's keep this channel open." A week later, my friend Daxton found me in the break room. She told the whole room she's joining your next check-in with Camille, said she wants the client to see our full leadership bench. I sent Camille a routine scheduling confirmation with the agenda and attendee list and a note. "Please let me know if you'd like any changes to this lineup." She wrote back, "This lineup is perfect. No changes needed." I forwarded her response to the general counsel for the file. The check-in was Wednesday. I dialed in 5 minutes early. Camille's team joined right on time. We were going through the agenda. Camille was asking sharp questions about the second phase. It was going well. 5 minutes in, the door opened. Sloan walked in with her laptop and a coffee, pulled out a chair, sat down, opened her laptop, and started typing like she had been there the whole time. She did not say hello. She did not introduce herself. Camille paused mid-sentence. There was a silence on the line that lasted maybe 3 seconds but felt much longer. "I'm sorry, I don't think we've met. I approved the attendee list for this call. Are you on it?" Sloan straightened her back. "I'm the senior director overseeing this department." Camille did not miss a beat. "That's fine, but I approved a specific list. Could we stick to it?" The room went completely still. I could hear the air conditioning humming above us. Sloan's face went blank, not angry, not embarrassed, just still, like a screen that had frozen. She looked at me for half a second. I think she expected me to jump in and say it was fine. I did not move. I kept my eyes on my notes and let Camille handle it. Sloan closed her laptop slowly, picked it up, pushed her chair back, and walked out. The door clicked behind her. Camille continued where she had left off, as if nothing had happened. An hour after the call, Camille's assistant booked a private 15-minute call with me for the next morning. No agenda. Camille picked up right away. No small talk. "I need to know if this is going to keep happening, because if my terms are not being respected, I have other firms who would love this contract." Her voice was flat and direct. "It will not happen again." "Good, because I chose your firm because of you, not because of your org chart. If I wanted someone else running my account, I would have signed with someone else." "I understand. Then protect it." The call lasted 4 minutes. For 2 days, nothing happened. No Sloan emails, no Slack policies, no surprise visits, just silence, which made me more nervous than anything she had done up to that point. Daxton found me Wednesday afternoon and said, "You notice how quiet it's been?" I told him it was making me nervous. He shrugged. Maybe she finally got the message. Camille asked her to leave a meeting. That's not something you bounce back from with a Slack policy. That same evening, Michaela from another team caught me near the copy room. She looked around to make sure no one was close. "I just wanted to tell you, people on the floor are paying attention to the Camille account. They see how clean your work is. They see that it's just you." I went home that night and let myself believe, just a little, that the worst was behind me. I should not have let my guard down. Thursday morning, my calendar pinged. A meeting from Vincent's assistant. Subject line, organizational realignment discussion. 60 minutes out. Just me and Vincent. I walked in at the hour. Vincent was leaned back, hands folded. He did not stand. Closed the door. He told me he was consolidating senior client relationships under a single point of leadership for consistency across the department. Effective Monday, all accounts, including Camille's, would be routed through the senior director for final sign-off before any client communication goes out. Then he paused. "This is not about you. This is about process." I said, "Camille's contract specifies that I have final review authority. There is no intermediary." He leaned forward. His voice dropped. "Contracts can be amended." The words sat between us. "Has Camille agreed to amend the terms?" "That's something we'll handle internally." "With respect, it's not internal. It's a client term. Any amendment would need her signature." His face closed. "I need team players on this floor, not people who use client relationships to go around leadership." I stood up. "I understand what you're telling me. I did not say I agreed. I did not say I would comply. I just said I understood." I went back to my desk and pulled every saved document, every original version, every Slack screenshot, and every email confirmation Camille had sent approving my sole authority into a single folder. Then I called Daxton and asked him to meet me at the restaurant 2 blocks from the office. I told him everything. When I finished, he was quiet for a few seconds. Then he said, "If you go to Camille, you're going over the CEO's head. That's not something you can undo. If I don't, Sloan gets final say on my work again. And when she introduces errors into deliverables, Camille is not going to blame Sloan. She's going to blame me." Daxton drank from his glass and set it down. "Then you go. But don't make it about Sloan. Make it about protecting the work." The next morning, I got to the office early to draft the email. But when I opened my inbox at 8:15, there was already something waiting. Sloan had sent a department-wide email at 7:42. Subject: Updated workflows for all senior accounts. It said that in an effort to ensure consistency and quality across all high-value client relationships, all client-facing materials would now require senior director approval before distribution. Effective immediately. CC'd to Vincent. She had taken what Vincent had told me in private and turned it into a department-wide policy so it would not look like it was targeted at one person. I opened a new draft. I thought about what Daxton had said. Keep it clean. Make it about the work. I wrote, "I want to flag that there have been internal discussions about changing the workflow on your account. Specifically, there is a proposal to add an additional approval layer above me before materials reach your team. I want to make sure any changes to our agreed structure come with your input, not after the fact." I read it 3 times. There was nothing in it that could be read as a complaint. It was just information. I hit send. 2 hours later, a new message appeared. Not from Camille to me. From Camille to our firm's general counsel. I was CC'd. "I've been made aware of proposed workflow changes on my account. I want to be very clear. The terms of my letter of intent are not subject to internal restructuring. If final review authority is moved away from my named lead, I will consider that a material breach of our agreement and will begin transition discussions with another firm. Please confirm within 48 hours that no changes have been made." I read it twice. My hands were shaking. I put them flat on the desk and pressed down to make them stop. stop. Camille had not asked me for more details. She had not asked who was behind the proposed change. She had not called me to talk it through. She had gone straight to the firm's legal counsel, in writing, with a deadline. She was not bluffing. She never bluffed. When Camille put something in writing, she meant every word. I saved the email 3 places. Then I sat there and let it sink in. Camille had just drawn a line in front of the entire firm's legal team, and she had drawn it around me. Not around Sloan, not around Vincent, around me and the work I was doing for her. 48 hours. The biggest contract on the books now had a clock on it, and the only way to stop the clock was to leave me exactly where I was. The next morning, the invite came. Large conference room, 9 o'clock. Vincent at the far end of the table, hands flat on the surface like he was trying to hold it down. Sloan to his left in a gray blazer, hair pulled back tight. The general counsel to his right with a legal pad and a manila folder and a pen lined up next to each other. Nobody said good morning. Vincent cleared his throat. This firm values all of its team members. His voice was measured. The purpose of this meeting is to clarify roles and responsibilities on one of our key accounts. He was speaking the way people speak when a lawyer is in the room taking notes. The general counsel opened the manila folder, slid a printed copy of Camille's letter of intent across the table, and began reading the relevant clause out loud. He read it slowly, the way someone reads when they want every word to land. The part about named senior lead, the part about all client-facing work reviewed by the named lead before it reaches the client's team, the part about no change to this arrangement without written client approval. Each phrase filled the room like something being said on the table, heavy and real and impossible to pretend was not there. I watched Sloane's face. She was trying to keep it still, trying to hold the calm, professional mask she always wore when she wanted people to think she was in control. But I could see it cracking at the edges. Her jaw tightened when he said, named senior lead. Her nostrils flared when he said, no change without written client approval. Her eyes moved to her father for half a second, then snapped back to the table. She was waiting for someone to save her. Nobody did. The general counsel finished and put the document down. Sloane cut in. This is exactly the problem. One employee is using a client relationship to undermine the department's chain of command. I am the senior director. I should have final authority on every account in my division. The general counsel looked at Vincent. Vincent said nothing. Sloane waited for her father to back her up. He did not. She turned to me. You went to the client. You went around me. You went around my father. That is not how this firm works. I informed the client of a proposed change to their contract terms. That is exactly how this firm works. Her mouth opened and closed. The general counsel wrote something on his pad. Then Sloane's composure cracked. Her voice rose. You have been trying to make me look bad since the day I started. You resent me because of who my father is. You have never once supported me. I kept my voice quiet. I stayed late the night before your pitch. I built the model. I wrote the memo. I wrote the competitive analysis. I sent everything to you in a clean folder with my name on it. You put your name on top of mine. The room went silent. Then Sloane did something I did not see coming. Her face changed. The sharpness drained out. Her shoulders dropped. Her eyes filled with tears. Slowly. Not like someone overcome with emotion, but like someone reaching for a tool and finding one. Her voice went small. I know I'm not as experienced as you. I know people think I didn't earn this. Do you know what that feels like? To walk into a room and know everyone thinks you're a fraud? For 1 second, I felt something move in my chest. Some part of what she had just said was probably true. She probably did walk into rooms knowing people were looking at her title and wondering how she got it. That had to be hard. For one moment, I felt bad for her. Then she turned to Vincent. The tears were still in her eyes, but her voice shifted. It got steadier. It got more pointed. She has made this a hostile environment for me. I don't feel safe working with her. If she stays on this account, I need to be formally protected. I watched it happen in real time. I watched her take the most honest thing she had ever said in front of me and turn it into a weapon. She had opened herself up just long enough to make people feel sorry for her, then aimed that sympathy directly at me. She wanted Vincent to hear, I don't feel safe, and pull me off the account. She wanted the general counsel to write down hostile environment and start building a case. The general counsel put his pen down. He set it on the pad, folded his hands, and looked at Vincent, waiting. Vincent finally spoke. He looked tired. He stared at the table for a long second, then lifted his head. The client's terms are clear. We are not going to lose this account. He turned to Sloane. His voice was flat and final. The workflow stays as is. She leads the account. That's final. Sloane stared at her father. Her voice came out thin. You're choosing her over me? I'm choosing the firm. She sat very still for 3 seconds. Then she pushed her chair back, stood, looked at her father one more time and said, then I'm done. She picked up her phone and walked out. She did not slam the door. She just pulled it shut behind her. Vincent did not stand up. He did not call after her. He sat in his chair and stared at the empty spot where his daughter had been sitting. The general counsel was the first one to break the silence. He gathered the letter of intent back into his folder and said he would send written confirmation to Camille's legal team that afternoon, confirming that the terms of the account were unchanged and that I remained the named senior lead. The confirmation went out at 2:17. Camille's 48-hour deadline had been met with 16 hours to spare. I spent the rest of the day at my desk working on the next round of deliverables. I did not go to the break room. I did not check to see if Sloane was in her office. I just did my work. Around 5:30, Daxton showed up. He leaned against my cubicle wall. I heard what happened. You good? There was an email from Camille on my screen. The last line read, looking forward to our next call. Great working with you. I looked up at Daxton. Yeah, I'm good. He nodded once and walked away. The office was getting quiet. The overhead lights in the common area had switched to the dimmer evening setting. I packed up my things. As I walked toward the elevator, I looked down the hall toward Sloane's office. The door was closed, but the light inside was still on. I could see it through the frosted glass. A warm yellow glow behind the closed door, steady and still. I did not stop. I did not knock. I pressed the elevator button, waited for the doors to open, and went home.